but there will be.
We don't know who's casting it.
Someone.
There isn't a caster yet. What is it?
If
a caster yet.
If we don't have any other casters, Comet will step in and cast. But either way, it will be casted, and we will have 2 more series later today. So make sure you tune in.
Is it Gib versus Cassette or Castet, or however you say his name? I don't know how to say it.
There is Gib against Le Castet, yes.
Yeah, and there's
Optimus
versus Optimus, which are both quite equal matchups. So.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a nice thing about this event, by the way, guys, that no matches should be too one-sided usually, because we pair the players of kind of equal skill together. Like the boss of the teams agree on which player they're gonna send, and if they can't agree, then the admins pick some like as fair as possible matchups, let's say. So obviously no one is always as good as his opponent 100%, but it's usually really close games. So it's quite nice and interesting to watch. And we have here on top of the map Samwise12, the one and only, in the color blue, playing India, and on the other side of the map in India, playing India as well in the color teal, always playing teal for the record. Dictator, aka Conquerer999, and
he finds a nice 80 wood treasure as well, which is incredibly nice for this matchup. Meanwhile, Samwise not really finding too many incredibly nice treasures. He does find the 120 XP, which is nice, obviously, as we saw last game.
Yeah, it's arguably better than 80 wood if you get it before you would trickle, because like I explained previous game, you get basically 50 or 60 wood just from the wood trickle coming in earlier, right? And then you also have 120 XP for later. So I think it's actually better than 80 wood, but 80 wood is also really nice. So I'd give the edge to Samwise so far, but it's definitely a good start for boss players. And boss chopping wood, obviously India doesn't need food to train bills, they need wood. So they are chopping lots of wood and just herding their hunt and building a house and nothing else in H1 usually. So yeah. Let's see what else we have on the map. There's 150 XP, which is big. Not as big after the first shipment, but still quite nice for your like it basically matters when you pick that up, the XP treasure here, for your second H2 shipment. Like you get the first H2 shipment when you're H2 anyway, but the second one will be significantly earlier, and the third one as well if you get that.
150 XP is basically it's basically half a shipment, isn't it, at this point? Which is incredibly nice. And as you said, look, the shipment coming in roughly 40 seconds earlier. Conquer only just sending his first distributism shipment. Right. Although Conquer's, he's got an interesting deck. He's got good faith agreements and enlist regulars, which isn't normally what you'd see for a mirror matchup. But Samwise equally has got East Indiaman in his end deck, which is what we were talking about earlier, the dock and the cheaper fishing boats. Which,
I mean,
he might take him by surprise.
You can't usually ship good faith agreements without a TP, because you are not going to skip the wood trickle for good faith agreements. That's just not good. But if you get 120 XP, wait, who got that? Actually, it was Samwise. Never mind that. I was gonna say, imagine if Dictator would get boss of the XP treasures. And then he could ship GFA, good faith agreements, after the wood trickle.
Villager coming forward here from Samwise, but he's going to needs to be careful here, really, because he might die to this Cherokee rifleman.
I think he just wants to place the aggro down and then go back.
Yeah, but he needs to be careful. He's taking a lot of damage.
It's going to be fine. I mean, the elephants cannot snare. If that was an explorer, this villager would be dead already. I mean, it would not be dead already, but it would not have time to go back into the TC, most likely. Unless we see some sick pull or block from Samwise.
Fucking Nook to treasure. So annoying. He's going to lose the village.
This is dead. This deal is dead.
It's such a BS treasure.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It's a good move. It's a very good move by Samwise12, a player from the team CMC. It's an insane. Oh, nice pull from Dig though. He might save it. I think it's saved. Yeah, but still, it's a lot of villager seconds to walk back and then pull that wheel. But it did not die, and that's the biggest thing, right? And that's a good play from Dictator here. And also gonna kill the Nutka, because as much as the Nutka is extremely lame against villagers, it does lose to the Cherokee Rifleman, because the Nutka is basically a pike while the Cherokee is a skirm. So
yeah, but also you have to remember the Nutka has a bonus versus elephants.
Yeah.
So this elephant, please stun please by Dictator's one is probably going to die, which isn't very good.
Yeah, he should pull this back because elephants can't snare. Yeah, he's just waiting until last second. He wants to get as much damage done with his Cherokee and then just pull back his elephants. And yeah, all in all, not too much happening. I mean, they're probably not gonna fight until a couple minutes at least, and meanwhile the elephants will just sit there and just heal each other anyway, so it doesn't really matter how much HP you get off from that elephant, as long as he can just heal it back. And also will heal the Cherokee Rifleman, which is nice. So
going to get 150 XP treasure as well, which is really nice. He's going to get an earlier.
Yeah. It's pretty nice.
It's basically 180 XP if you include the bears as well.
Oh, 80, okay. I heard 120, but yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's definitely nice. Oh, maybe
he's gonna probably lose one of his elephants. This range on the sacrifice. Yeah,
it's not good. Oh my God! It was barely going out of range, and then it just shot, and the elephant is dead. Well, it's not huge, but it's nice for Samwise12 here.
Nice sepoy master, 5 sepoys. He's gonna try and push onto this, but
a sepoy rush. Okay.
Yeah, Samwise only getting 4 sepoy out in his first batch as well, which may be, especially with his Cherokee in there. I mean, it represents a lot of power if he can keep it alive. It does 26 damage. Oh,
I mean,
it died.
We have here like 10 sepoy against 6, and then there's TC Fire and probably Minutemen. I don't think Dictator can do much more here than just idling. Samwise should be TC firing the sepoys though, because it's extremely efficient to TC fire sepoys. They die in 2 shots, even though it's a quite expensive unit. While TC firing the elephant isn't that good. Although maybe now it makes sense because he's got Gorkas out, so he wanted to get rid of the elephant, which can be annoying when it goes on top of your Gorkas. Either way, Samwise following with 5 sepoys himself to defend, so essentially he was able to squeeze in 600 wood and still hold the pressure quite nicely. So that's a win for Samwise there.
Yeah, Samwise in a nice position here, really, because you can't push Yagu. There's other elephants going to go down as well, so that's another XP boost. And those 2 XP treasures that Samwise got, he's going to be pushing forward with basically a 40-second difference in treasures. So realistically, he's quite far ahead of Conqueror in the XP curve as well.
Yeah. Wait, did he get... Yeah, he got boss of the... So that's what's so good. Like, he can just ship whatever, and then the sepoys, and they will still come in quickly enough to defend the sepoys of Conqueror. So yeah, that's a good point. I mean, is he ahead by almost a shipment at this point? I mean,
not quite. I think as I said, it's about 40 seconds, so it's a decent amount of time.
Look at the XP progression and the other flags. You can see
it's
almost the same. I mean, Dictator has a bit more XP, but not a lot more. And Samwise just has an extra shipment in. I mean, he also killed the elephant twice, right?
Yes,
once
90 XP.
Earlier and again now. So it's 120 plus 150 plus, like 90 XP. So that's like a lot. That's essentially 1 shipment, almost a shipment. So this is kind of big. Samwise just so ahead in score. And he's going to get his Ottoman villagers earlier. Here they come. He's going to get maybe market upgrades earlier because he was going for 600 wood first and not for 5 sepoys. While, as you can see, Dictator doesn't have quite as good market upgrades. Most importantly, Samwise has the imperial bureaucracy, which is huge. It's extremely expensive, but it's basically eco theory. So it's a big one. And yes, so I think Samwise is quite ahead. It's not GG, but he's quite ahead.
Conquer also sending me Wood Trickle, and Samwise doesn't have it. And you have to remember that Wood Trickle effectively is 5 villagers when you send it. So the Ottoman consulate is only 4. So actually, no, maybe it's about equal.
No, it's the
but
same
again,
actually.
it's the same, yeah. If you count for the village you get when you ship it as well.
Right. You get basically a veal with each, and then the wood trickle was 4 veals because wood gathers faster for India, so it's only 4 veals. And yeah, you also get 4 veals from the consulate. I'd even argue that the consulate gives you more because of the market upgrades on your veals.
Yeah.
However, with the wood trickle, you instantly get your 5 veals, while with the 300 export, you have to ally to Ottomans and then to research the 4 veals, and then they pop. So it's a past shipments are good anyway. But yeah, I expect Samwise to anyway follow with yeah foreign logging coming in right now. So you know, and since he's ahead in XP, well, he's able to ship that. And Dictator are not going for the 300 export just yet. First, shipping 600 wood maybe needs to set up some infrastructures, including his consulate. So I think it's safe to assume that next Dictator will get the 300 export and
Yeah, he's
catch
just
up.
getting. The thing is, Dictator can't fight this Gurkha mass. It's so huge in comparison. I mean, if you just look at military units, it's actually no, it's equal. It just looks bigger for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, 5 gardeners coming out in here. Where are the sepoys? The sepoys are so far away. They're over here. So these gardeners right on them. The sentry's coming out, obviously, but
The hell? What the hell is a sepoys going up there? That's unfortunate. This is probably maybe no. It's not GG. It's not GG, but it's really bad. It's really bad for Dictator here, I think. Although he did kill the gardeners, and now he's got Sowas, but there's enough Zembrags and sepoys, yeah. And his sepoys can actually siege down the Agra instead of shooting. Now they could just siege while the other units are fighting. And
Agra's basically half HP. I mean, these Zambrak sieging of 8 siege damage does nothing, basically. But yeah, this Gurkha mass is in favor for Samwise, and he has extra sepoy and Zambraks on top of that. Although he is losing some villages up the right, right here.
He actually reacted quite fast. He might lose another veal now, though, or at least one. But he reacted fast enough, so he's lost only 2 veals now, and he did kill one of Dictator's veals, so it's all right. Oh. And meanwhile, getting good trades here, getting the Agra down actually, and also trading at least even against the Gorkhas.
Sales coming out though, and there's nothing really to defend. Once these sales are down, there's nothing really to defend these Gurkhas at all. Although another batch of Sowers coming out at a nice time, but Sowers is a sepoy. He can just push forward easily.
He needs Zemburaks, not Sowers. Yeah, I mean he has at least. Well, he has a few more Gorkhas than Samwise. Well, not anymore. There's more going back probably somewhere to defend. Where are the 8 Gorkhas? Am I confused? Samwise, you got 8 Gorkhas. Where are they? Okay, there's 5 of them randomly here. I expected them to go back here maybe, but looks like they're AFK for the time being. So, but either way, Samwise has a commanding lead, I think. You can see it in the scores. He's got just much more units. He's got the Agra fort down, and he's got even 1 more veal.
And he's ahead on the shipment curve.
Yep. Yeah, even more so now that you got the Agra down. Like
700 food.
Huh, that's
interesting. Oh, he's gonna age.
Oh, he's got too much coin. That's why. Yeah.
And yeah, and these sepoy over here probably gonna go down to the Gurkha, which are just wandering around here themselves. So realistically, Samwise in a really nice position here.
Yep. So he can age. Doesn't need to age though. I'd rather have Samwise not age. But because I mean he's got the map control, he's got the military lead. I mean not anymore actually.
Samwise running from that? I don't actually know.
But I mean if you're ahead and you kill your opponent's Agra and you have just map control, you might as well stay H2 and pressure the resources because Dictator is out of gold. But yeah, the Sawas doing some work, but the sepoys, there's not many. Like there's some Sawas which are nice here for Dictator, but there's not really that many infantry to actually snipe the Zemburaks and the sepoys from Samwise. So Yeah. I think Dick got a decent. I mean, Dictator got a decent trade here, but it's not already enough. And we'll see how it goes, though. Either way, Samwise was actually not aging. He just shipped 700 food because he was mismacroed. He had too much gold, and now he's going to be able to get nice patches. And that's why now again, now that he finally gathered the 700 food that he unfortunately shipped at his forward agra, now he's getting a lot of units out. Although Dictator also got a lot of units now. I guess he's getting good patches as well. But now you see the problem. Like, you have no map, you lost your agra, you're behind in military a bit, and you get pushed off your hunts. He finished his second gold mine already, and now he's got just this one. This is the only safe gold mine left, essentially.
It is a back base gold mine though, so it's quite nice. It's quite easy to defend. But again, look, only 1,500 coin on that gold mine, and the next one is sort of here, which is a place you don't really want to be mining gold if you don't have a military advantage.
Well,
although saying that, he does. The amount of Sao he has here, there's not really
Oh.
anything to defend the Gurkha backs. Jar carded, thankfully, but
yeah, maybe going a little bit too heavy on Gorka here and might be in a little bit of trouble. Maybe a comeback from Dictator, actually. But keep in mind that the Zembraks have an insane DPS because they have the attack upgrade and they just are really good anti-cav. But still, Samwise not hit and running. He could go through these trees with his units maybe and try to go back, but instead he's just sort of losing everything here. So that's pretty good for Dictator. Is it enough though? I mean, we'll see, but it's definitely sort of a comeback here from Dictator.
A really nice push off there, and
Camel attack
from Dictator as well. So these Sours are pretty powerful units now, and you have to remember they are faster than normal units. And these villages of the villager advantage Conqueror's got are just going to be bunged in this Agra fort. And where's Conqueror? Not Conqueror's. Where's Samwise? Where's his next mine?
Samwise actually sort of lost this game now. This is one of the biggest throw I've ever seen, I think. I mean, I didn't even imagine that Samwise could actually lose his game at this point. And now suddenly the eco is even and Samwise has just no units. And yeah, I don't know. I guess we might see the same though. Maybe Samwise can, yeah, like so was popping alone, not gonna do too much.
They do camel attack coming in, so they're doing so much damage each hit against
those... Yeah, Terror, so they actually deal a lot of damage against Gorkas. But yeah, it's...
these villagers coming out, he might lose a few villagers here. And obviously, he can't really contest this too easily. Although, what you have to remember is the Gurkha and the Zambaks are dreadful for siege, 12 and 8 apiece. And Samwise not getting... Samwise going to get onto him, and these Zambaks, not huge HP units, but...
She's got 2 stables. Imagine if he just waited to pop all of them at the same time and just go on top of the Gorkas with like 8 or 9 Sawas instead of trickling them, and then he would have maybe been okay. But here he's just losing the Sawas and popping more Gorkas. I feel like there was a lot of potential here for Samwise to actually clean this up with a proper engagement, but now he's just losing even more units, in fact. So it's probably GG.
Just the boot as well. Like a villager deficit is now 6 in favor of Conqueror when it used to be 5 or 6 in favor of Samwise. And Samwise is on berries, you have to remember. I mean, Conqueror himself is on berries as well. But yeah, the deficit here is quite large, and he's going to lose that aggro more than likely, even though the siege is so weak, unless he gets a good pop from both sides, which he can do, but he just isn't.
I think there's too many units for a pop to happen, and also Dictator didn't do the same mistake as Samwise. He doesn't have too many Gorkas. He has enough Zembraks to kill like 10 Sawas easily, and he also has Sawas himself to just to block and potentially kill his opponent's Gorkas.
That was coming out, and another Sawa batch coming out as well, so it might be...
Nah, it's not enough.
Yeah, he's just getting...
But yeah. I mean, the positioning is quite good, though, for Samwise, to be fair, but I still think there's just too much stuff.
Yeah, and these redcoats actually... to be honest, these redcoats are in, and there's another batch of Gurkha coming out, but as you said, the positioning is... These Zambaks sort of blocking to...
I think the positioning was actually pretty good for Samwise, but he just had so much less stuff that it didn't really matter. Like, that trade at the end was as good of a trade as you could expect from Samwise, I think. But Like you can check in the military.
Didn't need to push forward. That's the thing.
Not that good actually, but
They
yeah.
just needed to starve him out.
Well, that's a big throw. Like I don't know how that happened really. I mean, just a bunch of Sawars showed up and cleaned up everything, when in fact, like Samwise was ahead in resources the whole game, and he was ahead in military for the first half of the game at least, and ahead in vills and ahead in score by quite a lot. Although we have to keep in mind that the Agra fort is like 8 score, which is sort of inflated, but still, like he was quite ahead. And just a big throw, you can see it in the score, like suddenly, bam, like just going down. Either way, that is 1-0 for Dictator here, winning the first game in the Amiral Alaska. So that is a win for Team NA, or Mandarin Duck Squad. But be sure Samwise will come back in this series. He has to. So yeah, we'll move on to next game.
Well, Samwise maybe not too familiar with a map as well. Because obviously EP maps are relatively new,
He's played on
and
them.
Samwise is. Has he?
Yeah, I mean his team. I know what he's been doing, and he did play on
Okay.
Alaska. So, but maybe not as well as we do, because yeah, he's sort of new to the maps and stuff. Surely he doesn't know them as well as, for example, I do. But he has some knowledge of the maps. We can't say he don't know. We can't say he doesn't know
No,
Alaska. But yeah, I'm just gonna open this ski links thread.
it's Florida next,
All right.
and it's. Did you choose first or did you choose second when you played your game? Because it would be the same as what you chose. I think
I'm
it's
pretty sure
Florida.
it was not Florida. I'm pretty sure my second map was Mendocino actually, China against Euro. So it has to be Mendocino now.
So Conquer is he? I think he's quite known for City play. Is he? I don't actually know about Conquer because
Euro,
Florida is.
I think he can maybe, but Euro is not one of his main saves. But
Oh,
maybe getting spammed. Not sure. What did he say? Anything?
yeah.
Or?
I don't know.
No, he rehosted now. Maybe just misclicked.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, he says he's misclicked.
Yes.
So it's Mendocino, and Dictator has to pick first. But I think they say that themselves, right? So they know about it. I don't need to tell them, although they need to record. Oh, yeah, there you go. Brits is definitely good on Florida. And
Florida, Mendocino is.
Yeah.
Is
Oh,
the low.
it's not. Yeah, it's not Florida. Yeah. So Brits on Mendocino is not as good. Definitely not.
It's quite a low hunt map, isn't it, Mendocino? So, or comparative to something like Florida, maybe he should have kept his Brits play for Florida itself.
I think the bigger problem here is the TP line. Some civs can abuse that against Brits. The hunts are actually okay. You also do get 2 gold mines in your, 2 coin mines in your base, and 2 hunts if you heard well. The hunts are a little bit far usually. Like your 2 next hunts after your starting hunt are a little bit far away. But if you heard properly, they should definitely come in your base, and then you actually have quite a lot of food and quite a lot of gold. So this is good for Brits, but yeah, the TP line is kind of off-putting for Brits here. So we'll see if Samwise picks something that can abuse the stagecoach here.
Maybe Iroquois, or I don't know what's someone's to play Ottomans. Ottomans versus what matchup is good against Britain in this situation? What would you pick in if you were choosing?
I think a civ like Otto, Euro, or Russia is good here. Otto may be a little bit weaker against Brits. I kind of changed my mind about that matchup, but I still think on Mendocino, Otto should win. But yeah, Otto, Russia, Euro, they can just get a stagecoach, they can pressure and force Brits to cut some eco and not go full boom. So yeah, I think one of these civs would be pretty good here. Maybe What
Russia.
else?
It's Russia coming up.
India is also fine, but
Germany.
he can't India.
Yeah, Russia, as I was saying.
All right then.
So as you were saying, Russia can sort of force Brit to. He can actually change still if he wants to, but I highly doubt it. But yeah, as you were saying, Russia can sort of force Brit into a position where they can't boom like they normally would want to, and Russia, obviously with Strelitz being so efficient, Brit has to go Huss first, don't they? Really against Russia, I think.
Sorry, give me 1 second. Excuse me,
Course.
what did you say at the end?
So what can Brit do against Russia in terms of just a massive Charlotte mass in H2?
Well, you can open stable, which is probably safer, or you can just try to hold with Minutemen, your Vils and Musketeers and the tower, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's definitely a bit hard sometimes. But I would say you should probably open with Hussars, basically, in this matchup. And then with Hussars, you should be able to hold 5 Musk and 5 Casts. And you should also be able to hold um, 3 Deaths. Although, yeah, it can be hard to get a good batch of Huss as Brits. You have to cut some manors if you want to do that. So yeah, we have here on the bottom right of the map, Dictator, Conquerer999, playing in the color teal, sorry, and as Brits. While on the other side of the map, it is Russia, played by Samwise12 in the color orange, and it is a wood start, which is going to be significantly better for Brits here, just because of that extra house they can drop in H1, or a market with hunting dogs, which should probably be better because he has a 40 gold in base, so he could just pick that up and go for hunting dogs, but a second manor is good as well.
Yeah, and also 80 food is going to pick up now, and Russia not really finding anything on his side of the map. 2 stray sheep being a useless treasure. 135 coin, which is quite easy to get, because you have to remember that black bears are relatively weak units. And yeah, other than that, I think treasure-wise, probably better on the British side, especially these 2 dogs. 2 dogs is really nice in this matchup, because they tend to be quite useful when defending.
Well, a gnat is
I mean,
even more useful
yeah.
because you can deny the front base with it, while dogs have a multiplier against villagers. So he's gonna go for the gnat, which makes sense, I think. But yeah, there's a lot of gnats on this map, so that could be a problem when going for a civ like Russia on this map. That you might get your front base denied, and it will probably happen, but we'll have to see. He might just get a gnat on his own here to defend that. But yeah, he stumbles across the 135 XP treasure, so he's gonna be able to kite that, and that is definitely gonna be nice. Equally though, yeah, Brits did get an 80-foot treasure, but his explorer is low HP, which might help Russia a little bit to defend that pressure on his blockhouse in H1. Especially because Samwise is doing a good job of microing here and gonna lose almost no HP, even though he didn't even crack shot, I think. Or maybe he did. But yeah, not gonna lose too much HP here.
Yeah, and obviously 3 settlers coming out from Conqueror, and Samwise probably going to be sending his wood trickle, more than likely. And 135 XP is really nice here for Russia. As obviously, Russia like having those 5 Cossacks early and those 13 Shelets, or normally 5 Cossacks, 4 Cossacks, 13 Shelets if they're going for a win. And he's also going to get this Nat treasure because, as you said, he didn't lose much HP, so he can chance taking these sort of high value treasures, which you normally wouldn't do if you lost a decent wedge of your HP.
Yeah. And Brits is aging significantly earlier than... He actually went for a 16 age up, even though he has 2 manors, so the standard is 17. But in fact, he went for 16 because with the 80 food and the extra vil from the manor, I guess, he was just able to age up 1 villager earlier. So he's aging up. Like he's basically more than halfway up when Samwise barely started aging. Like it's a 45 seconds difference here. So that's gonna be huge in a matchup where Russia wants to pressure. Ideally, usually Russia would age like 15 seconds later than Brits at most. And now it's like almost, yeah, it's 45 seconds. So it's quite significant, really. It might make it way harder for Russia to pressure at all. Even though he did get a nat himself, yeah, to
And
defend his
because of that,
blockhouse.
I think because of that Nat sort of bringing back his own Nat into an area which I don't know why he's down here. It doesn't really make any sense to me. But
He wants to find his
maybe he's
hunts.
bringing up. That's why. Yeah, but there isn't really many hunts on this map, as I said. But look, this blockhouse up here just is basically blocking off any of the hunts Brit's got. So this hunt, which is this deer hunt in base, is maybe the only hunt Brit actually has available to them.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I didn't check the hunts, and it's true that Russia has this one here. It's kind of far from the TC. It's not like you can bring it in base, but let's say the fourth hunt of Russia is a bit closer. But I don't think it's worth a rehost because they are
Well, you
three.
can't now. It's past 2 minutes.
No, but I mean,
Anyway.
even if we did see it, like
Well, normally
there's
you do the first 3 hunts, and then it's sort of
yeah,
anyway.
right. Like there's just two hunts plus the starting hunt for each player, and I think it's enough. But the real problem is that Brits did not actually hurt that. And that is big because it's under the blockhouse. Yeah, he could have hurted it though. You just need to be fast. But this comes under your TC. And it's kind of standard against on Mendocino. Like I said before the game, you have hunts, but they spawn far, and you have to hurt them early. Because as Brits, I mean, this isn't all that much food, really. It looks nice for now, but then in fact, in like 3-4 minutes, 5 minutes max, you realize that, oh boy, you're out of hunts. So that means essentially Brits will have to push out really soon. I mean, sort of soon.
Longbowman coming out as well for Conqueror, but he's going to have to try and defend with probably Minutemen out of his TC, but he hasn't got enough. He does actually have enough Conqueror Minutemen. But these
Oh,
Cossacks coming.
yeah, Samoa is being a little bit shy. To be fair, there's like an explorer and a tomahawk, and then the longbows can sit behind the wall. But I still feel like the Cossacks should clean this up, right? So he should not be so shy. Now he has to go back because of the stable. He doesn't know when something's gonna pop.
There's nothing in queue from the stable though. It's just more and more. I know. I'm on the wrong tab. Yeah, there's 2 Huss and Q from the stable. If you get a batch of 5 Huss, as you said, he's going to be in a really nice position here. What can Russia do to push into that sort of? It's a bit like playing against Dutch at this point. Like the area that Brits in is so small. There's no really good entrance in.
Yeah. Then again, do you really need to even push at all when the second hunt is right under your blockhouse? Like, you probably can just contain because Brits will not be able to age. I mean, you can't age up with that kind of hunts as Brits, right? So you have to push in H2, and that's just nice for Russia usually. So if you push in H2, well, Russia can just add a second blockhouse and take more TPs probably, or even not take TPs. It might be a bit greedy. It will slow down his mass, so he might have more trouble holding the push. But the two blockhouses and the trees and the big cliff in the middle, the canyon or whatever you call that, and then the trading post socket as well. Like this, how do you push with Musk Huss if you go Musk Huss into that? I guess he's going
Yeah,
longbow, so that's nice. But it's so hard to push in that.
and you have to remember that longbows have a really pathetic siege, really, only 10 siege damage, and this ravine in the middle is sort of stopping anyone being able to get past these outposts, especially with these trees. The trees sort of denying any Huss which you get there, and you have to remember, as I said earlier, these 2 blockhouses are so powerful against Huss. They have a 1.5 time multiplier, so if he's pushing out here, even though he's got larger military mass than the better units.
Wait, what? He's pushing out with this? Nah, I think he was just like checking what's up. Like he saw a second TP, he's like, huh, Russia might be going really greedy. I might be able to just get the blockhouse down. And then with his longbows, because they have a lot of line of sight, the longbows, he just saw the 2 blockhouses and he's like, okay, never mind. There's no way I push into 2 blockhouses with that ridiculous army. So he just went back and waiting for more. But again, look at his hunts. Like what's left? He's got 5 dead animals, so it's at least 2k food, and it's less than that. It's more like 1k food left probably. And he's trying to hurt, but it's way too late. That deal is dead, so he's not gonna get more food. So he has to either like sneak Vils on the left on the map and defend them with the tower or with his army somewhere here. Or he has to push out like really soon. It's a huge mistake not herding that early already. It's game losing. And he's going 5 Vils. But I want to ask, like, what does 5 Vil achieve when you don't have food? Pretty much nothing. I guess you might as well ship 5 Vils and use them to tank in a fight at this point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you might as well ship Must or Longbows than 5 Vils when...
Look at this push from Russia here. Look, you have 20 musketeers, 23 shullets, and 4 Cossacks coming in here. Although these longbow and this sort of choke here are going to do really, really well, but as well as this massive hustle, you have to remember these musketeers are incredibly weak compared to normal musketeers. So I don't know who's winning this. I'll be honest. There's a sort of gap here.
Well, I don't think, yeah, Russia's going to go back because he doesn't have to fight this. I would be extremely sad if he would actually go in and waste everything to the Huss and a Minuteman pop and maybe even 6 Musk or 6 Longbows, because I'm 100% sure it's going to be 6 Musk or 6 Longbows next. If it's not that, then it's a huge misplay from Dictator. So I think it's like, imagine you would commit here as Russia and just get cleaned up by Minutemen and a 6 Musk shipment from the tower, and then you lost, and then it's just so sad, right? But in fact, he's just, yeah, 6 Longbows coming in now. And in fact, he's just going back and just denying the hunt and not pushing in. He could, if he needs to, he can even go back between the trees next to the blockhouses, but he might not need to. He's got a lot of Russian musketeers here. And once the Hussars are dead, there's not much for Brits to force a fight. So
yeah, but again, as I said, I think Brits even winning this because if you just look at Longbow, look how much DPS they've been doing at the back here. You have to remember Longbow DPS is incredible in Age 2. I mean, I don't think there's many units that come close to it. And then the Minutemen coming out here, the bigger mass is actually slightly on Russia's hat. The Cossacks coming in now.
Like there's the 2 blockhouses actually shooting at the Hussars. They all died extremely quickly, and then there's more reinforcements and even more now. I mean, it's just Russia. You can't expect to. The fight always looks good against Russia when you start fighting next to blockhouses. You're always like, oh yeah, I've got more stuff. I've got Huss. They're gonna tank, and then in fact he just pops 100 units and you die, and that is GG. Because now he's got no army, he's got no food, and GG. Yeah.
Yeah, Samwise winning now. Maybe sort of showing that he hasn't lost his spark after losing the first game.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Brits with 1 hunt like that is kind of a free win for Russia, because especially on a TP map, because then Russia can take some TPs as well. So
maybe the hunts were slightly in Russia's favor. Because the second hunt or third hunt was basically on the blockhouse.
I mean, but look, Samwise also did the same mistake, even though it didn't really matter because he's not pressured. But look, he also didn't herd. And look where his Vils are at the moment. They're also super far just because he didn't herd. I don't think it was that Russia favored. I just think Dictator didn't grab his third hunt. He just didn't herd it, and yeah. But
so yeah, a short and snappy game, really.
Yeah, that was quick and dirty. So not that much to say about the graphs. I mean, Brits barely out booming and then just dying. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, of course, it was a bit Russia favored for the hunts. I mean, the 4th hunt was better, but I think if we start rehosting that kind of stuff, then we have to rehost most of the games because it's the 4th hunt, right? You can't count all the hunts.
It's third. But yeah, I think it was just a smart pick by Sam. Obviously, that map, generally speaking, is quite a low hunt map. Normally, you'd see maps which have a larger amount of hunt, and maybe it didn't work out as well as Conqueror hoped.
No, I did not. Brits is kind of an awkward first pick anyway, most of the time, because as much as I think Brits is a quite strong civ, there are a few counter picks on specific maps. Like Russia does good against Brits, even though again, if he just heard it would be insanely better for Brits. Like it would be a totally different game if he had 2 hunts in his base, But still, you can counter pick Brits usually. Hero on this map would also be good. Then again, let's say you're playing like Pampa Sierras. You can play Brits there. You got food, they're not going to take a stagecoach because there's no TPs. But on Mendocino, there's just a lot of Civ that can just contain and get stagecoach. So maybe not the brightest first pick here. Either way, this means it's going to be 1-1. So Samwise is coming back, and now it's a tie. And wait, yeah, Samwise has to pick first, and the map is, let me check, Arizona. Yeah.
Yes.
So we'll see what Sam decides to pick. And so I'd like to remind you guys that half of the donations made during all these streams of the EPL will go towards the EPL prize pool, which used to be $500 and is already up to at least 700 now.
Yeah, it must be like 750 now. And you have to remember, this is going on. It's throughout the whole of September. Any donations come in, so you might end up seeing quite a heavy prize pool by the end of it. But Samwise going for Germany, which obviously on this map is quite good.
Yeah, it's a good first pick, and well, it's not the best German map, but it's definitely a decent German map. Like the prime is that the second gold mine is a bit far, but other than that, it's a solid map for Germany. And kind of as expected, we have a German mirror here. Just Dictator. Germany is easily one of Dictator's main civs, definitely. And so you could expect him to mirror Samwise pick. I think Sam plays most of the civs, if not every civ. But Dictator doesn't have that many civs available. I think he plays like France, Germany, India, maybe some Russia, a couple other civs maybe, but he doesn't play all the civs. So was kind of an expected German mirror here. And we'll wait for Samwise to green up, and then they're gonna play this game 3. And it's the second German mirror we witness on this map today.
Does Conqueror play a different account for Treaty?
Yes and no. I mean, he plays on Conqueror Treaty as well, but he also plays on his main account Dictator, and he also has another account called Bojack Horseman. And yeah, I think he usually mostly plays on Bojack Horseman for Treaty at the moment, but I don't think he plays much Treaty, if any, currently, just because he's sort of focusing on the EPL. And yeah, well, Treaty is kind of dead at the moment. I mean, boss Lucas and Dictator, boss playing EPL, playing SUP, and not playing Treaty, and then it's already kind of dead because there's that few player playing Treaty anyway. So
yes, Lucas definitely showing his strides in supremacy.
Yeah,
against you as well. Yeah. Was it against you? Yeah, it was against you, wasn't it?
Yeah, I honestly expected to go like 4-1 or something, and then it was closer than that. It was a 3-2.
I think most people expected you to go pretty hard against Lucas.
But he's a very good player, though. I mean, I knew it would not be easy to beat Lucas. He's a strong player for sure. Either way, yeah.
So yeah, in the enough about we have Conquer as Germany. It's a wood start. So 300 wood and 300 food and 100 wood. So normally you'd go for a market in this start, would you not? Or
you can also just not and just do nothing. I usually pretty much always do something because it's a pain to have to do both a market and a TP in transition. So I usually try to sneak in either a market or a TP in H1. Another reason is that if you don't, then you don't shop. If you don't shop, you send your settler wagons directly on hunts. And if you do that, you end up being like Dictator. Your herding sucks, and you have a lot of walking time with your settler wagons. While you will see that, well, Samwise is actually also herding with a settler wagon, but he will be able to herd more with a veal now, which is just way, way better. Um, then again, it kind of depends on what you find. If you find a wood treasure, you most likely go for a TP. And if you find a gold treasure, you most likely go for a market. And now that Dictator has 70 gold, I think he kind of wishes he would have gone for a market. But Samwise did
Yeah.
get 55 coin in base, which probably motivated him to market start directly. So he's got hunting dogs right off the bat at 1 minute in game, which is very decent.
So yeah, Samwise having got a nice start here. I mean, there's not particularly many nice treasures, as we said before. This
Yeah.
this Cherokee rifleman though is really nice, especially versus a German player, because you can try and deny that TP, and if you can deny that TP in a German mirror, that's huge.
Yeah, that is true. But it's also really risky because when taking that treasure, you lose 200 HP. And imagine if your opponent finds you doing that and just steals the net and then kills your explorer, you're even more behind. But either way, yeah, it's a possibility. Also worth mentioning that big XP treasure close to Conqueror space, I would just pick it up with my two Ulans because raiding with two Ulans in a mirror is not necessarily good because your opponent also has two Ulans, right? So he can defend the raid. So you might as well just use them to pick up the 320 XP, which is just that nice against Germany. The two relevant treasures apart from that on the map are the 70 food for two coyotes here, which is quite nice to be
It's a
fair,
really, really good treasure. Yeah.
and the other food which is really inferior actually. Like alligators are much harder to kill than coyotes, and you get less food for it. So if someone scouted the 70 food, he would have gone for it, but none of the players currently scouted that. So here is that. But yeah, I mean, look at that. Samwise clicking up before Dictator because he's got the 60 food, but even without the 60 food, it would be already close. And Samwise just has a market and hunting dogs while Conqueror does not. So this is just such a much better start for Samwise already. And he also picked up 60 XP, didn't he? Yeah, before shipping his settler wagons. So he's got his settler wagons quite a bit earlier. So this is an insane start for Samwise actually. No idle time with a market on a food start is just really
Yeah,
good.
and he's going to get the 70 food, as you said, and going into that, he's going to time it really nicely with the TP. As soon as he walks up, pardon me, as soon as he walks over there, he's going to get the TP up.
Yeah.
And then he's got the marker start already, so he doesn't have to collect as much wood as Conqueror has to. And he's going to age up roughly the same time. So definitely age one going quite
Yeah.
convincingly to Samwise.
Heavily Samwise favored in age one so far. Then again, it's just age one. It's a nice boost, but it's not like game winning. But it is a really nice boost. I mean, we'll see the batches. We'll see the first batches they get. Samwise will get one, if not two, extra Ulans from his first batch, just because for one thing, he's got hunting dogs working all the time. So all the food he's gathering is 10%. It's gathered 10% faster. And for another, well, Dictator still needs to just chop all that for the market, and he didn't get like 130 food like Samwise did. So yeah, it's just look, Dictator now stops chopping. He's got his placer mines coming in just now, while Samwise already got it. So it just snowballs so much. Like it's a big deal. Like placer mines still being researched, and the settler wagons on gold gathering 10% slower. So yeah.
Yeah, and these settler wagons or villagers now coming in with steel traps for Samwise. Meanwhile, as you
Huh.
said, only just getting in placer mines for conquerors, and I think that Conqueror going to have a slower batch of Ulans coming out as well. I mean,
Well,
Samwise might struggle getting all five out.
yeah, because he went for steel traps, which is not really standard. Usually you wait for 700 wood because you don't have that many bills on food anyway, and it hurts your first batch a lot to get steel traps, and you need to chop or to buy wood for
Yeah.
an extra for a house. So he still does get 4 Ulans, which is probably going to be as good as what Dictator gets, to be fair.
And he's
Although,
going to trade nicely if he can get the snare off of his Explorer. Definitely, look. He's going to at least get 1, so he's not even going to be in a deficit for Ulans.
And actually, Dictator getting 5 Ulans out because he delayed his batch and because he did not get steel traps. But yeah, at the end of the day, he lost 1, so they both have 6 Ulans, and he's going to lose his Knight and his Explorer. Or maybe not the Explorer. Someone's probably going to pull back last second. Oh, wow. He shouldn't fight this, though. I mean, his Ulans, he's got...
No, it's the same amount of Ulans, though.
No,
I mean,
but it's there's a low HP Ulan for Samwise and the Explorer. So I think this is going to go well for Dictator, although it is pretty close. It kind of depends on the micro, I guess. And it looks like...
No, it's definitely going to go to Samwise here. Especially with Ulan's coming in. He's going to lose the Explorer, and he's basically going to be... or maybe he can't push any more now, though, now, because he doesn't have his batch of 5. And Conqueror's got this nice batch of 7 just coming down here. So he's going to lose his Explorer anyway.
Yeah.
And he might lose an extra Ulan.
No,
no, he doesn't.
Explorer going to snare. He's going to lose 1 Ulan, at least. Oh, never mind. More coming in. So, gonna kill Ulan and get the snare as well. Already back and forth, depending on when you pop your units, obviously. But this is overall very good for Samwise, right? I mean, he's got his steel traps in.
And sort of... Sorry, go ahead.
And he's just killing a bunch of stuff. That's all I wanted to say. And now he's gonna send more Ulans in, but they will die as well. Like, there's still not enough for Dick.
Especially since you've got the DPS from that a German Explorer at the back here. He's going to lose... He's basically 5 Ulans behind now.
Yeah, look at the scores. This is just so... Samwise favored at this point. I mean... and he knows he can't even raid now because a batch has just popped, right? He saw a reinforcement coming in. So he knows he can raid and there's not going to be any Ulans popping for at least like 15 or 20 seconds or something. So he can just idle and raid a little bit, just going to check that coin mine and the dead deer, not going to find anything, and then probably just going to go back. And yeah, I mean, we can check units lost at this point. 18 Ulans lost for Dictator and a Cherokee Rifleman compared to 9 Ulans lost for Samwise. And Dictator had to cut some bills because, yeah, he doesn't have steel traps. He had to make these batches to try to defend, and he just didn't make bills for a while, so he's at least 1 bill behind, if not 2. I mean, between 1 and 2 bills.
And Samwise aging now, and Dictator nowhere near. He's got a batch of 5 dops, but as we saw in Raphael's game against... I've completely forgotten who it was against now. Raphael versus Nushelbar.
Yeah.
You have to remember that as soon as Germany's age 2, these dops, although they are good units, it's sort of useless. And even then, Samwise getting a villager down from
Yeah, he did kill a Bill, although he's going to lose a couple Ulans. Oh, barely escaping the doubles, well. But nah, these Ulans are all dead. Or maybe not all. Maybe he can escape 2 of them, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to escape 1 more as well. So, yeah, losing 2 Ulan for a Vil, which isn't too bad.
Well, it's not a good trade, but let's just say that Samwise is so ahead that this kind of trade is okay for him. It's not bad. I mean, it's not terrible. And although now he might just get code. That's unfortunate timing. And he's just taking the fight. Oh no, he's got more Ulans here. He's afraid of the Dops. But in fact, the Ulans die so fast that they will not be able to really snare the... Like, Samwise Ulans will kill most of the Teal Ulans before the Dops can come in. And now Warwagon's coming in as well. So he needs to be...
the Dops have to be careful here.
Just send the Explorer in mini mode here.
There's skirmishes as well, look.
Yeah, but Samwise has to be really careful with his units because everything dies to Dops in mini. So you have to keep hit and running. And Samwise is kind of not doing the greatest job at microing here. And this is looking sort of still fine for Samwise, but you know, he has to be careful to not do that again and waste his stuff.
Minutemen coming out as well, which is nice.
Yeah, but 3 Warwagons died. I mean, this was a great trade for Dictator for sure. Enough to maybe... Now, I don't think he can come back still just because he's not Fortress and he's nowhere near aging, but, that's a good trade. It's a good start for Dictator to try to come back. Like, look how much work has been done by these Dobbs.
You have to remember, Dictator is nowhere near aging now.
Yeah.
And he just has Dops and Ulans. And then if Samwise can get a nice batch of War Wagons out and properly micro them, it'd be completely fine.
Still, though, he did kill like 6 Skirms and 3 War Wagons and 3 Ulans at least, and force a Minuteman with like 9 Dops and 3 or 5 Ulans of his own. So it's an extremely good trade for Dictator, but again, yeah, it's still fine for Sam because as long as you trade your H3 units with his H2 units, even if it's a bad trade, it forces your opponent to just stay H2 a bit longer, which just sucks because it means he keeps shipping H2 stuff like 600 gold, which he needed to age up, and then you just ship units. And next thing you know, Dictator is gonna be up, and this is gonna be another of the like the Knusselbeer rifle game where this gold mine in the same spot as previous game is just not safe, and we might see a big right click from Samwise as soon as he sees the Fortress Age.
Yeah, although there are 5 Ulan coming out over to the right here, which might get some nice raids on these villagers if he spots them down the bottom here. That's going to be huge.
I feel like he's not going to see them just because they're really in the border of the map. But if he does, it's huge. But yeah, he's not going to see. He might find this though, but I feel like, yeah, there's War Wagons on the way. Probably something going to pop from the stable as well. So these Ulans might be dead actually. This is not a very good end goal to come raiding. You have to come from the left and raid on the left, or come from the right and raid on the right. But you can't like come from the right, then cross your opponent's base and still raid, because then it's very likely something's gonna pop and catch you. So yeah, he just lost 2 Ulans for free, and now they're gonna get caught. Maybe. Yeah.
9 Ulan coming out. So, what does Conqueror send as a shipment now? He's edged up. I mean, you can't send any of the really, really powerful mercenary shipments like Jaegers.
Now here he
because
can't.
he hasn't got the coin. And he can't just send skirmishers because they're just going to get decimated by the Ulans here.
Pure Ulan.
And
you just go pure Ulan at this point and hope it works as Samwise. It's just like, okay, Germany doesn't have the greatest anti-cav. Let's hope he doesn't have any dops. He's just got War Wagons, Skirms, Ulan. I'm just going to make a bunch of Ulans and try to clean up and call Minutemen, something like that. But it's not going to work because there's just way too much military for Samwise. Like, the advantage is huge. But yeah, I would just go pure Ulan. Or maybe dop Ulan, try to cheese and get a big trap. But what you do not want to do is train skirms. Like, this is absolutely wrong. They're just going to die. But yeah, this is probably going to be the end of the game. I don't see how Teal can win this fight. And then he's also running out of gold at the same time. And the Vils are going to be idle and come in the fight. So this is just GG again.
And then GG coming out.
Yeah, so that was just so many good trades for Samwise in H2 really. Was kind of one-sided actually. And snowballing a lot as well. And if you look at the pop, just like the overall pop right now, it's 126 for Samwise and 56 for Conqueror. So there's 70 pop discrepancy. It's insane.
Yeah, it was nothing Conqueror could have really done. He was just stuck in H2, which I think is the problem here. He got a really nice trade-off on the dops, but he let Samwise mass too much.
I kind of
ended up with...
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
He couldn't really come back from after he lost H2 so hard with Vila.
Yeah, I kind of understand why he stick to H2, just because he felt so behind after taking 2 bad trades that maybe he thought, yeah, okay, I need to go dop cav, try to make something happen, get a good fight, which he kind of did, but not enough. But yeah, he wanted to try something. You can't really just age up and then it's a mirror. Like, you just age up at the same time and your opponent just has like 10 extra Ulans, something like that. But I guess he could have tried to age. But I understand the move. I understand why he would want to try to make something happen in H2. So yeah.
Yeah.
Also, sorry, he kind of needed to make dops, because imagine if Samwise made dops. and then Dick would just age without making dubs, then he would not be able to access his second gold mine. So he kind of needed to make units to just keep some presence on the map, despite having lost a lot of Ulans for free. But yeah, that is 2-1.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have to go now.
Oh, right.
So you'll be solo casting unless someone wants to join you. I think Migo said he could join you if you maybe ask him. But yeah, the games I've seen of this series are really, really good.
Yeah, pretty good games.
Both players. I think phone first game from Samwise definitely, but close games. They're not uneven in any sense. But I'll leave it over to you to solo cast or to get Migo.
Yeah,
So,
I figured that out. Thanks a lot for co-casting with me today again, and see you soon.
Bye.
Okay, so yeah, I am trying to figure out if I get a co-caster or if I just go cast alone. And meanwhile, we'll see what the players are going to select for the game 4 of this Play All 5. The map being indeed Mendocino and then Bengal last map. So yeah, this is Wait, no, we've already played Mendocino. It's Florida, and Dictator has to pick first. All right, so Dictator is gonna stick to Germany here and Florida, which is a very respectable pick for sure. And we'll see what Sam goes for. I mean, he might just keep Germany and try to mirror again because this mirror went so well for him, but he might also just play something else. We'll have to see. It's not very easy to counter Germany on this map. I'd argue that maybe China would beat Germany here, but that's one of the only saves probably. And I'm not sure how good Samwise China is. So we'll see what he decides to pick in this next game. So I'm not sure if Comet K is actually co-casting or not, but it looks like he is. Okay, yeah. So he's gonna solo cast with me.
Man, hopefully my mic is okay.
Hey, yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, there's a little bit of background noise, a little bit too much maybe.
Okay, let me close the window. That might be the issue. Just a sec.
All right. Yeah, that is actually quite terrible right now. So we'll see if you can improve it. Yeah, I forgot actually that Samwise can also go for Brits, which is a very strong pick on Florida, and I personally believe that it's Brit favored here. but we'll see. He's taking his time to think, and yes. So again, guys, I remind you that there will be 2 more series later on after this one, right after this one. So there will be Give the Dirty from the Mandarin Duck squad against Le Castet from Curacia Management Company. So actually the same teams, like Le Castet being in the same team as me and Samwise, and Give the Dirty being in the same team as Conquerer. And then we will have Optimus Prime from the Nila Ninjas against Jerry Muno from the SKG, Somali Kabuli Gaming. And I also remind you that all the donations will see half of all the donations will go towards the EPL prize pool. So this event right now. And we'll just wait for Comet K to unmute himself and hope it's better now.
All right. Is the audio any better now?
Yeah, that's much better actually. Although
Okay, cool.
sometimes there's a weird how do you call that? Like sort of a white noise or
I understand what you're talking about. White noise, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? Well, there's a lot of it.
Okay. Is it like kind of ruining the?
It's like when you.
You think it's?
It's like when you're talking, it's usually okay, and then randomly it just starts making this noise.
Okay, I don't really know how to fix it, unfortunately. If you'd like to solo cast, that's okay too. I can just hop out and.
Yeah, I'd like to cast with you, but I think it sounds pretty bad. I don't know what the chat would think about it, but I'm not sure. It's not the worst, but it's pretty bad.
Okay, I'll hop out for now and try to fix it, and then maybe I think we have a few more games, but anyway, I'll let you cast this one solo for now.
Yeah, I think it's better. All right. See you later then. Yeah, that was a little bit too much. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you guys think in the chat, but I feel like it's was too much. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't actually the same. It wasn't Riotcoke anymore. It was Comet K this time. But yeah, unfortunately, not gonna be able to solo cast just yet. But he will anyway cast the next series, the 2 next series. So you will hear some of our beloved Comet K. All right, let's go. So it is indeed Brits against Germany here, and that is a very good British map, but also quite a solid German map. So it's going to be an interesting match. Sorry for that. All right, so that is 2-1 for Samwise12 in display 05. So now he's counter-peaking Germany with Brits on Florida. So yeah, we have here on the top right of the map, Conquerer999 as Germany looking to do some
comeback for his team in this series, while Samwise on the other side of the map in the color blue is Brits. And yeah, I think it's been some solid play from Samwise so far, because even in game 1, he was really ahead, actually. He was really winning game 1, and then he just threw in a sort of like impressive way to a bunch of solos. But in the 2 other games, I think it was pretty one-sided, and Samwise had easily the advantage. So looking good for Team CMC. Easy for CMC so far. Sorry, I'm a bit biased, but it's my team. We have anyway Brits mining for hunting dogs here, because of course in Florida you start with a free market, which is really nice for most thieves. Some thieves don't benefit as much from it. For example, Otto obviously doesn't really care that much about the market, but for a thief like Brits or Germany, a market is really nice, especially because if you get gold, and you usually get gold treasures on this map, you can buy wood and do something with your wood, like a TP or a mana ore. And here you see, for example, 105 coin, which is extremely nice. Here's an 80 wood, which can be really nice as well. 2 dogs, it's nice. 100 food. So yeah, quite a few nice treasures here. But that is all. Oh, well, there is this one, but it's quite hard to pick up. Kind of a bad treasure. And looks like Dictator is gonna find this 105 coins, so he's gonna deny it because Samwise is not really. Oh, it's gonna be close. In fact, oh, Samwise got it, so he's got the 105 gold, and he's got hunting dogs on the way already. So it's not like this gold is gonna really matter. I mean, he could mine gold and buy 100 wood, but it would be used. Wait, no, he's Brits. No, he's Germany. Wait, what? I'm confused. No, I'm looking at the wrong player. Yeah, he could maybe mine gold and buy 100 wood and chop like some wood for a mana ore, but it's kind of slow and maybe a little bit too late. So instead he's gonna just decide to gather everything for his age up, which is probably the right call at this point. And yeah, so boss players just gonna proceed to gather the 800 food they need to click up to Colonial Age. They have them sheep because it's also a map with sheep. Which aren't the best livestock, but still. And there's quite a lot of them. There's like 10 sheep or something on this map, or 12 maybe. And you can eat one of these if you need to age up in time. Let's see if Samwise can. Well, he's going for a 17 age up actually, so it's not exactly the ideal age up, but he did get hunting dogs, and he will also get to research Gangsar before he clicks up, which is a nice trick. If you get it before you actually start aging, then it means you get more extra wood from that upgrade. You could and you should even not do that actually. Samwise should have left more vills and food so that they gather the 100 food he needs to queue up a vill upon H2, and then switch everyone to wood so that he gets more of the Gangsar bonus. Like he starts shopping later then, and well, it's just better, but it's not a big difference. So yeah, still a nice trick, and probably gonna get a solid transition at this point. Like sometimes as Brits you have only 16 vills in transition, and here he's got 18.7 vills because it's 17 vills plus 10%. So he's gonna be able to build maybe 1 extra mana, like climbing up to maybe 50 or even 60 pop. Although he's got maybe too many vills and food, so he might not get that many manos, but regardless, it's going to be a nice start for Samwise. Equally, a nice start for Conquerer, and getting that trading post up in time to get the XP, so that is going to be really nice for him. And also going to find, no, actually Samwise is going to find that 80 wood here. That's really good for Brits. And quite easy to pick up actually, because you just crack shot the pirate, and then you melee mode the blow gunner, which is extremely weak in melee, only 5 attack. Kind of ridiculous really. And so he's gonna pick that up, and we do see a forward base from Samwise. He's got 2 vills there. He dropped a mana, and he's gonna drop a forward barracks most likely, because if you go for a forward stable against Germany, it's not gonna be very good for you probably, because they will get more Ulans. They can even ship 3 dops and just nuke your front base. So usually if you go forward, you just go for a barracks.
And so that is gonna go up. It's not gonna be the super passive playstyle that we know Brits can sometimes do. It's gonna be something more aggressive with the forward tower and barracks. Both of the players not really herding as good as they could, as well as they could. Sorry. They boss essentially. Oh, that is so annoying when they do that. Start perching randomly an animal. They essentially boss have a hunt in their base, but they could grab more. Like Samwise could grab this hunt, even this one, and Dictator could herd this a little bit more maybe. Just checking the gold mine. They both have a back gold mine, so should be fine. And they both have 3 hunts as well. I mean, it's a bit late to check. I'm a bad caster, but this one Dictator kind of failed, and he sort of killed most of them, and the remaining ones are low HP, so he can't really hurt them. So it's not ideal, but still, he's Germany. He doesn't need that much food. We see 2 Olans trying to raid, but most of them just dying apparently. You usually kind of need to scout in this matchup as Germany. Like, you want to know what you're up against, because a Cav Samai is a bit greedy maybe against... Wait, no, he's going for a naked FF? No. Yes? He's got a stable up, but he doesn't actually train Ulans. So Dictator kind of always goes for this build order, honestly, as Germany. And I'm not sure it's really good here, just because he's going to get idled. He's going to struggle to gather his food. He can't just eat the sheep with settler wagons, and he's going to do it. It's the right thing to do, because these guys just don't die that quickly. So you can just do that and micro them and try to gather as much food as possible. He's calling Minutemen right now. Oh, cancel the Minutemen. Good micro from Dictator here, just saving his bills. One gonna die though, if not more. He's really struggling. I think he should just really pop the settler wagons on the ship, and that's all. He doesn't actually need to pop the bills, and now he still does not have the food for aging, and some of his settler wagons are low HP, so he's a bit afraid to pop them, and this is just so bad. This is just so bad for Dictator. He's gonna have to keep popping bills and losing even more of them, and still not having the food for any job. This is sort of GG. He did get a counter raid in, so he killed 3 bills, which is significant. But the most significant thing here is not even the bills, it's just the fact that he cannot age up. Well, now he can. Finally, but Jesus Christ, that's one hell of a slow FF here. He's gonna be up at almost 9 minutes with no units. I mean, at this point, you might as well scout the front base, make crossbows, and defend, and then you have units, and you gather, and you're done with vills. Not quite killing that one vill. Your line is gonna die to TC fire and vills. So yeah, at the end of the day, what do we have? Samwise just with an impressive villager lead, because he's killed 3 more vills and he's Brits. And Dictator are going to be up extremely late. Still going to be able to ship stuff, basically, because he's got a TP, he's up late, so he's going to have 2 shipments back to back, pretty much. But is it going to be really enough to match the British mass? When you're up that late and you lost so much, can you really ship units and beat Brits? I don't think you can. And also... I will check at the end of the game, but I'm quite sure Dictator was not able to make vills, because obviously he needed to age. That was the most important thing. So he couldn't afford to train vills, because he would never age, right? If he's got like just 2 settler wagons and food and he keeps making vills, he just cannot age, and then it's GG. So he had to cut a lot of vills, probably like 3 vills worth of idle time. I will check at the end on the graph, but it's really not looking good. He does have one advantage. It's a war wagons. War wagons can outrange the musketeers and hit and run them. However, Samwise shipped the 6 longbows, so it's not going to be very easy for Germany to kite this infantry, because basically the longbows can still keep shooting. So what Dictator has to do is TC fire the longbows and snipe the other units with war wagons. More war wagons popping though. Minutemen as well. They are just dying. War wagons shooting in a nice position. That is good from Dictator, but it's still just some war wagons against a bunch of units, and I don't think it's really going to be enough. He's going to hold for the time being. I mean, there's no way Brits can kill his army, right? If Dictator just TC fires the longbows, then these war wagons can hit and run forever. So there's not quite enough hussars to catch them. If they try to do that, they will just die. So one more war wagon dying though. So only 5 war wagons. Well, only 1 war wagon died actually, right? Yeah, he's lost 1 war wagon so far. So yeah, but so he's fine for the time being, but he just lost even more bills, I think. 1 settler wagon went down, and now 7 skirms popping into the hussars. Gonna be okay though. Not really enough hussars here, and the skirms will be able to hit and run that amount of units here. I don't think Samwise should go again. I mean, he can't really challenge the skirms here. He just needs some longbows, like 10 longbows here, or even more hussars would be fine, but he can't make that many musketeers. Still, Brits just has way more eco. Germany has used his 2 shipments. He's got 1 more on the way probably, but after that, it's going to be a while until Germany gets 1 more shipment in. Doing some good micro with the war wagons, taking some damage now, but mostly clean, pretty clean micro from Dictator here. Hit and running the infantry, which is not that easy to do with war wagons. And gonna get snared a little bit. I racing Samwise should. Oh wait, oh that's a huge reinforcement. A batch of 5 masks, a shipment of 6 masks, and a batch of hussars, which is just what he needs to snare. Explorer also gonna go on top of the war wagons, everything being snared, and the mass of infantry is just focusing most of Dictator's units down. So these war wagons are dead, and these skirmishers might escape because there's not all that many hussars left, but 4 skirms they don't really matter. And yeah, this hussar is even gonna clean up the skirms, so never mind. This is gonna be a complete cleanup. Oh well, more skirms, okay, so Conqueror shipping the 7 skirms and gonna be able to hold this again for the time being, but again a bad trade for Germany, and again just using 1 more unit shipment, and yeah, this is gonna be GG. Now the units are all cleaned up. Cav HP coming in, and yeah, GG. Like now it would take at least another minute until Germany gets a unit shipment, and Germany is not able to ship the skirmishers nor the war wagons anymore. So he has basically 2 options. He would either ship the Black Riders, which would be insane in this situation, but there's no way he gets 1,000 gold. Thanks a lot for the donation. Easy for CMC. Thank you, Migo, for the $5. So yeah, he couldn't really ship the Black Raiders. And then the Uhlans, what are Uhlans going to do against Moskhaus? Pretty much nothing, especially because he didn't have the veterancy in. They were still colonial Uhlans. So yeah, this was just over. And he couldn't produce any units because he's just idled. And even if he could gather, he has only 200 gold left on that safe gold mine. So really nothing Germany could do at this point. So the story of this game is just that the naked FF is way too greedy. Whenever there's a front base, you cannot get away with going 700 wood, 3 settler wagon, naked FF. You have to train units, most likely infantry, but you might get away with going Ulan. But you can't go naked FF like that. Definitely not. So yeah, just let's see the Vil graph. And that's what I was meaning, right? He lost a lot of Vils, but also you can see he was not training Vils. From this point until that, he did not train any Vils. While Samwise lost a few Vils, but he was also still making Vils and making manors. So at the end, getting still nearly 50 villagers, while Germany is stuck on 22, which is a very, very bad eco. And you can, oh, wow. That is not a nice resources graph. So yeah, GG. Just so much idle time and so many dead bills. and purely relying on the shipments to hold. But you know, German shipments are nice for sure, but you still need units. Like you need to train units. You cannot just rely purely on unit shipments. At least not in this matchup. If you would get that much idled and pressured by, let's say, Aztecs, and then you would hold with unit shipments, you would still be alright because Aztecs doesn't have as much of a follow-up. But when it's against Brits, and the guy just comes back with like a bunch of units, you're just dead. You cannot play like that against Brits. I need to check. Oh, Haza. Yeah, we can get Haza to co-cast. If Haza, if you're listening, oh well, there's 2 minutes delay, never mind. I'm gonna just PM him. He's online. Apparently the chat wants Haza. So even though I don't really want him to cast with me, nah, I'm kidding. We'll just see if he's AFK or what. All right, so we're gonna get Haza in. So I'm gonna join the voice channel and wait for Haza to join me. Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good. Watching our boy winning the series, so
Come on, man.
Can't be bad. I mean, well, there's still one last game, but at least CMC will get at least 1 point, if not 3, depending on who wins this last game.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll try and not be too biased.
Sure, we'll try.
I'll try my hardest.
Yeah, I will try as well, but I don't guarantee any results, but we'll see. All right, so now it's Bengal, and we'll have to see what Sam picks first in this last game. Probably gonna be against some India or Russia stuff, right? Like every time we play in ATP.
Yeah, I wonder what it could be.
We wonder even more than you guys in the chat, because we can actually even read the chat, the Discord chat with Samwise and the other CMC players. So we actually kind of know what he's gonna play, but we're gonna try to be surprised when he picks India or Russia, something like that.
Watch him pick like Germans or Otto now.
Oh, that would be so dominant.
Yeah, it would be. That would be just like slamming your dick down on the table.
Yeah, definitely. And we all know how scary Sam's we is. So
it's weird. Okay, we need to behave.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't come co-cast. Actually, it's maybe not the best. might not be extremely serious, but yeah. All right, so guys, game 5 out of this play all 5 series. Russia being locked in, and we now have to see what Dictator will react with.
Yeah, I suspect India, but it could potentially Russia mirror as well.
Right. It's going to be one of these two saved, I guess. I don't think he will be too keen on picking Dutch there. Although it's not the worst matchup, but it's a bit hard to play maybe. And
Yeah.
maybe Aztec could be yeah, but he's gonna go just India.
Drops the India bomb. Yeah, we kind of expected that. His India's pretty good overall.
Yeah. And well, Bengal also does have the livestock, which is a bit better for India than Alaska maybe. Although you don't have the 100 wood treasures spawning on the map, so that's not as good for India, but you can still find a 90 wood and some 50 wood treasures, or the 100 food as well. And yeah, the yaks are just really good for India.
Yeah, but you have to point out that the map is quite low resource as well, and the mines aren't exactly great, which Russia can abuse.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, India kind of needs more gold than food, I guess. I mean, depending on what you train, but in this matchup, you don't really make sepoys. So you go for Gorkha or Zembraks, or even Sawa, which are usually a bit coin heavy. And since you don't need food for bills, yeah, you end up kind of needing gold mines as India, I believe, more than Hans. So yeah, maybe Russia could deny that.
Yeah, and once it gets to people think, once it gets to late colonial, India has the best shocks, their composition's better. But if India's out of coin mines and Russia's just spamming strelets, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, I guess you just have to go Rajputs, which is not the greatest.
Or just try an age and go Mahout Rajput.
Yeah. Urumi, Mahout, Rajput, pretty good.
That might actually be a legit composition, especially on the new EP that's coming out, because Rajputs are getting buffed, aren't they?
And the Rajputs are gonna be Mahouts and Rajputs bot's gonna be buffed actually, so you could see that composition working. But first you have to get to H3, which is not easy in this matchup. But yeah. Wait. Need the recorded game. And then we can go in this last game of the series. And yep. Maybe he can't select it. I don't know. Sometimes there's a bug where you can't tick the observer mode, so maybe he can't tick the recorded game. I don't know.
Yeah,
or maybe
that happens to me a lot. You have to relog.
Yeah. All right, there we go. So yeah, game 5. Now Hazak casting with me. I tried to deal with that, and we'll just go in that exciting. That was an exciting series, I think. I mean, a couple of games were one-sided, but
first game was pretty good. It was a nice comeback.
Yeah, actually, only the first game was really good. In fact, never mind.
But it's always nice to see a cav switch working out rather than just skirmisher war and poking and stuff.
Yeah. Well, usually you end up having to cav switch. Always one of the players is gonna be behind eventually in the skirm count, and he will have to try to go cav because he can't keep making just skirms. And then it either works or it doesn't, but most of the time it doesn't, because if you have to make cav, it means you're behind. When you're behind, you don't really expect to win the game, right? But this time it did work. It was a big surprise and nice comeback from Dictator indeed in that India mirror. All right, let's go.
We're going. Cool. Nice.
I'm just checking quickly that your sound is fine in the chat.
Oh, good point.
I'm waiting for an answer, but sound is fine. All right, we're good to go.
Make sure you check the resources as well. I'll do that as well, actually.
Yeah, I kind of forgot to do that every single game, unfortunately.
Sick.
Yeah, I think it's fine. It's like sort of 3 hunts for each after the starting hunt, with this one and this one being a little bit further away, maybe.
It looks perfect to me. The mines are solid as well.
Yeah, this is almost mirrored. So, all right, that's good. So we have on the left of the map Dictator from the Mandarin Duck squad, playing in teal as India, and on the other side, Samwise as well as India, playing in the color blue, and ahead by quite a fair margin now, 3-1. Holy shit, he says. What's up?
Oh, I thought he was complaining about lag.
Yeah, that's up to the. I mean, it's a wood start, so you know, it's.
Yeah.
But to be fair, he's popping his wheels on the crates only now, and it's like 13 seconds when you usually already Q3 wheels. So, oh well.
Yeah, this happened to me before. I think it's like when it's recorded game and it's like the Alt key.
What happens? What happened is that there's HP on all the units, and you have to press Alt. You know. So it's like as if your Alt key was always pressed, so the keys you hit don't work, and you have to press the Alt yourself, and then it's gonna fix.
Yeah.
It's a weird bug. I don't really understand it, but yeah, it's strange. But yeah, all right. Well, either way, Dictator didn't really have to accept that, but he did. So maybe it's a different bug. I don't know.
No, he just said he had my wheels highlighted and I couldn't click anything. I don't know what that is. Probably is the Alt bug. I don't know.
Yeah, a bit of unfortunate, but we're gonna go in again, and hopefully it's a wood start again. But that's not guaranteed, so we'll see.
Do you think it would be fair to like keep rehosting into this a wood start, or would that just be too time consuming?
Yeah, it's just too time consuming, and then you also need to have fair resources. So then you get a wood start, and one player is missing a hunt, and you rehost again, you know, and then it never ends. So I guess we're just gonna rehost only if it's a map issue. And yeah, and that's a bit sad because now Dictator's gold mines are they're in front while Samwise mines are on the side, so it's just a worse spawn. And the Hans.
Should we rehost that?
The Hans are also, I don't know. Wait. I think we should, just because also Dictator actually agreed to rehost, even though it wasn't good for him. I think we should give him the opportunity to rehost this if he wants to. So,
2 forward mines want to rehost.
Oh well, yeah, we both dying, but all right, yeah, it's also not a wood start, so I think he's pretty happy to rehost that.
I mean, it's only fair, right? He had good sportsmanship anyway, so
yeah, he deserves that rehost.
It's not really fair to give him. It's not really fair to give him 2 forward mines versus an aggressive civ.
Yeah, against Russia. No, I think it was totally fair. As a CMC champion, I think we should have played that game, but all right. Let's just go in a game a third time. Sorry for that, guys. But I do believe these were the first rehosts of the entire series, so it's not too bad. I mean, of the entire 2 series. Let's see this time. Soon we'll have to ask them to save their recorded games as well.
Yeah.
Although it should still be fine.
Yeah, mines are fine. His hunts aren't as good though. There's probably going to be enough.
No, there are, well, I think the hunts are. Well, it's just kind of like Samwise has 1 extra hunt, maybe. It's kind of just Samwise having insane hunts for this map. Usually you don't have like 4 of them, but I do think Dictator has enough food. Like he's got 3 hunts, so.
There's like a bug on the mini map. There's not a hunt in that corner.
Nah, it's a UI. It makes a tapir spawn or something like that, and you see it at the start, and then it disappears now.
Right. Okay, so it's not too bad. And to be honest, Dictator's got a wood start, so I doubt he'd want to read just because of 1 less hunt, which India doesn't really need.
And he's got better gold mines, so
his gold mines are solid. Better than so yeah.
It's just that there's like this hunt. But honestly, does it really matter if Russia has 1 more hunt close to his base? I mean, it's not like it's gonna be, you know. I think this is good.
Yeah, let's go with this.
It's as good as it's gonna get anyway. So, all right. So that's game 5. 3-1 for Samwise again. Gonna introduce the players quickly again. Dictator as India in the color teal on the left of the map, and Samwise in the color blue as Russia on the other side. And it's again a wood start, which is very fortunate because yeah, we had to rehost that. So what do we have on the map now? We have
Samuel is getting 90 wood.
Oh wow, that is pretty good. Would be much better as India actually, but it's really good for him that.
Market now. Sorry to cut you off.
Sorry, what?
Do you think he should go market now and mine 50 coin, or is that too slow?
I wouldn't. Like as Russia, it's really tight to go market. You really have to get good treasures and mine and chop super early, I think. But he might do it because he's gathering his wood now. Maybe he's gonna hope to find a gold treasure because you often find like 50 gold on this map. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really would not like him to just start sending bills now on gold. It's so late now. You're just gonna delay your age up. Maybe he just wants to drop the market and that's it.
Yeah, I think he's just doing it for the XP. Like he's trying to get his first shipment.
Yeah, which does sort of delay your age up because you don't get bills, so you get less food from building the market, but you do get a bit more wood from the wood trickle. So I guess it's okay. Also, he can eat a yak if he's well, I mean, he's got only one yak so far. 2. Wait. Oh, he's scouting with the second one, which is nice. So he can eat these if he's a bit late.
Insane H1, actually. 50 wood, and he also got XP quite early, so the shipment actually came in before Sam's, despite having the 8% penalty to his shipment.
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah, 30 XP is not huge, but it does matter a little bit. And 100 food and 50 wood is just so nice for India. I mean, if he knew he would find these, he would just 10-10, right? Like with 100 food, you can just totally 10-10. But
I mean, yeah, they're like halfway across the map. I doubt he just blindly go 10-10.
Of course, obviously not. But imagine if he could, like that would be just so good against Russia to 10-10 like that. But no. Regardless, he's just going to have a very nice age up. Clicking up before Sam will be up at roughly the same time, maybe slightly later than Sam. I kind of question no wheels on the Wonder. Maybe it's just because he's up so early, he feels like he doesn't need to set wheels on the Wonder. But maybe against Russia, it would still be better. Either way.
Yeah, I still think it's a mistake taking the Vil off because it does delay your age up a lot.
Yeah, by 10 seconds. So, maybe he's gonna. No, never mind. Okay, he's dropping a market in a really nice spot though. This is a nice wall with the trees and the market and the gold mine and then the Agra fort. Gonna be hard for Russia to reach some Gurkhas right here in this sort of pocket, especially if he has like a small wall or a house somewhere.
His pressure's not going to be as strong as it would be compared to like a base that's not built this tightly.
Yeah. And also, since India is up early, right? But that blockhouse is not super forward. You could have expected it here. I think it would be standard. But
maybe he doesn't plan to be too aggressive. Dictator will like overcommit into defending.
Maybe, yeah. But if he does scout the less forward blockhouse, you might expect the pressure to be a little bit weaker. And he's also gonna wall up now, so I think he will feel safe. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's not a huge deal. It's just like 5 or 10 seconds extra walking time for your units to rush, but it still can make a difference sometimes.
I mean, you can just keep going either side of the wall with the Gurkhas between the houses and stuff, and just get free shots. So yeah, this wall's really nice.
Yep.
Sam does scout it actually, so you might be thinking like, oh, I might not be able to pressure him that well. I might do a different build, but we'll have to see.
And Dictator also patching the gap, making another pillar because there's 2 small gaps. Just not making the same mistake as I did in a game. Although there is a hole here. I saw an animal going through between the 2 houses, and that could be a problem. But I'm not sure Sam will see it because with the berries, you could think it's not a gap at all. But
Sam is doing, I think he's doing 10 Strela and 5 Cossacks, just judging by his population.
Yes, exactly. That's like there's like 18. No, wait, what? 20.
Plus
Okay, no,
5
yeah.
plus 3
No,
vills in queue.
Yeah, he had 6 vills in queue for a second or two. That's why I was confused with the 6 vills in queue, but it's just, yeah, he was just popping
Right.
3 more vills. But yeah, 10 street, that's 5 Cossacks coming in, and that's just super standard. And Dictator trying to snipe the Explorer, but soon gonna go back when he sees the army. Sending the elephants forward is not too good, but still okay, I guess, for India. The aggro killing the trees is kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, I wonder if Sam might do that on purpose and just try and get all the imbest trees out.
Yeah, it would be really smart for sure. One bill not gonna go down. Oh, it does go down, and the sentry is popping right on top. The Sepoy is in a good spot. The elephants also doing some work soon. Maybe no, it's going back. Well,
It tends
this
to
is
clean it up nicely. Yeah.
yeah, and this is how this matchup plays when you play it well as India. Although he did get an insane H1, but this is how you kind of hold the 10 Streetlets and 5 Cossacks. And now it's going to be hard for Russia to do anything. He has to age or something, but he can't really keep pressuring for a while.
Look at the build. Look at the build India managed to pull off as well.
Yeah.
5 Gurkhas and calling sentries. That does mean his market upgrades must be quite... Oh, never mind, he's got the first tier of all of them, so that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, because when you go for 600 wood, you can get your market upgrades in transition, I guess, because you know you will not have to really chop any wood in H2, so you can have all your vills on food and coin and just use the 600 wood. So you can afford to get a couple market upgrades in transition. So this is so nice for India. Like, he's got his stuff up. He's got a stable and a console. It's 300 export in. I don't know if he's going to be as greedy as to get the 4 vills, but I
think he will.
Probably, yeah. He probably can as well, so...
He's getting it now. It's halfway researched.
Yeah. Such a nice position for India to be in. So now we have to see what is the follow-up for Russia. Is he just gonna keep massing and trying to contain, or is he gonna age or something like that?
He's stacking resources, and I think there's a shipment on the way, so it might be an age up. Training anything despite having like 600 food.
That has to be an age up. He's only queuing vills, and he's got so much pop space. No, okay, that was just Miss Macro. He's queuing 5 musks.
Okay.
Maybe he can still make only 5 musks because it's still only. No, he can sell them. Okay, he's aging. 700 gold coming in. He can sell the musks, and he will age shortly.
I think aging is the right call here.
Yeah, I think after doing no damage whatsoever, you should really age. I think if you do a lot with your rush, you can totally stay H2 and contain or push again. But after this, you kind of have to age, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, even India's gone for like the wood trickle, so he's got no timing at all to push the blockhouses, so Russia can get away with anything for the next couple of minutes, probably.
Yeah, that's true. But he does have I mean, this is the dream setup for India at this point. He's got all of his market ups besides, I mean, except the second gold upgrade, which he's getting now. So he will have full market, which is really, really good as India. And he's got the wood trickle and the Ottoman vills, and he can even switch to he can get the Hussars and then switch to British consulate, and then he's really, really in a good spot. I mean, it's as good as it gets in H2 usually for India. It's just really nice. But then will it be enough to actually push the blockhouses remotely soon? Probably not, but he might be able to follow up or to just do enough damage maybe with his units. Like, he might just bypass the blockhouses and push the food here or something like that. We'll have to see.
Yeah, he just needs to get enough cav out. He's got 400 export now to get the Otto Hussars, and he can probably train more Hussars cav as well from the stable.
Yeah.
Sours are so squishy, it's quite hard to push this sort of location with just squishy hand cav, really. And Strelets are enough to buy time, so Sam can hold this quite easily.
Yeah, then again, I do feel like he might have too many Strelets. Maybe you kind of want more musts and get the Falconets, but we'll see how it goes. There's not really any hand cav for India. I mean, there's 3. Yeah, there's there's the timing here. The timing is coming. This is, to be fair, the best timing India can get at this point. Like, he's got the Forcer Wars, the three Gardeners, and he's gonna go in. So Russia needs to go back, call Minutemen and pop units and something like that. But it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to hold this actually.
And I think this is just how the matchup goes when India can hold easily. It's just, even if you age as Russia, it's really hard. I mean,
muskets.
Although,
2 Falcons.
If he had only musks and no Strelets, he could cover the Falconets. But yes, 2 Falcons kind of a mistake here. He can't recover them. Should have been maybe something else. And this is probably just GG.
Yeah.
I mean, the blockhouse is... Like, go ahead.
On the cav and then 20 Strelets on the way maybe could hold.
Yeah, maybe, but he needs to not train musks and pop them right inside of the army. Actually, he should not train musks at all, probably. Like, the only purpose of musks is to cover Falconets, but now that they're dead, he needs, like, Strelets and Cossacks, most likely.
I feel like he should just make pure Strelets and then just rely on blockhouses and parving to kill cavalry, but...
Yeah. By the way, the blockhouses are going to do so much damage against the Zembraks, to be fair.
Yeah. And like blockhouses on these Sours is just going to be nice whilst he's shooting the Zams with the Streller.
These masks are actually buying a lot of time, although they did die. What is... I feel like Dictator did not realize that he killed all the 5 masks and he's trying to find them now, but they're all dead. So, in fact, this is buying so much time for Samwise just when he needs it. So he gets to ship 20 Strelets and train 10 more and get veterancy. And he also has 5 masks just in case there's a couple cav. And Dick is actually, Conqueror is actually gonna click up. So maybe not all that GG after all. I mean, that was really good for Dictator. He's definitely ahead now and he will get to age up, but at least Samwise is surviving.
Yes, obviously Russia late game is really good.
Although
it
is, but the problem is that if you get to 200 against 200, India just wins because you can't ever kill 100 pop of Indian army with 100 pop of Russian army, unless you already have like 100 Cossacks maybe. But so. Late game is good for Russia, but you sort of have to keep the pressure and keep trading all the time and not let him mass an unkillable army.
This timing is going to be really good, and Sam probably knows that Dictator's aging as well.
Yeah.
And Dictator doesn't really have a lot to hold here, and he's on British consulate, so he hasn't got like potential Otto Minutemen to call as well. He just needs to like push now really to actually get some damage done before like a Mahu pops and perhaps Urumi.
Yeah, and did Dictator actually see this army? Maybe he's just, he's just on top of it. So he's going to pull back at the last second, although he will lose a Ville, but that's not really a big deal. The Wonder is going to be idled. He has to be careful with his Villes a bit here. But
training for Villes is just so good.
Yeah. And this Gorka is also not really at 18 range and just getting sort of sniped. And don't really do that much damage against veteran Strelets, really. So that is not looking too bad, but for Samwise, but still, there's a lot of Zams, and I feel like he's gonna be okay to hold. And he's aging with the Mahout, isn't it?
Yeah, the Mahout's on the way. So Samwise has probably got to go back before it pops.
It's kind of scary, but there's 5 Kavachas.
Yeah.
And just enough musks, really. Maybe Dick should just go back and not trade that. I think he needs to go back, get veterancy on his units.
Yeah, I feel like Sam just should keep fighting as long as possible before Vet Gurkha comes in.
Right, and before a shipment comes in as well, because he knows he can't fight like Euromis or something like that, or 3 Mahouts even, but he can just trade a bit more. But yeah, he's going back now, and I respect that. I mean, it's probably around the right time to just pull your units back and go back safely between your 2 blockhouses.
Disciplined Zambrak and Gurkha just came in, so he also doesn't want to fight that.
Yeah, and meanwhile, it's worth saying that India caught up. Russia sort of caught up in eco just by I saw that one, but he just, for now at least, until the second TC goes up, he does make Villes faster, and he did kill a few Indian Villes, so the eco is sort of close, while it was kind of one-sided earlier.
You also train the Mansabda Gurkha. which is quite nice as well. And that's like the Chomlog Gate is actually quite good late H3 as well, just because of the Mansab does.
Yeah. Although I still believe you can snipe these guys, but yeah, it's nice.
Up 2 Mahouts.
Yeah, plus the low HP one that he could have been healing, in fact. Oh no, his elephants are dead there. Never mind. Which kind of sucks for
He
India.
should really
Actually.
try and get them.
Yeah, they're
He
full
should
HD.
really try and get them. Actually.
Yeah.
Like they tank so many shredded shots. It's unbelievable.
Then again, they're dead in a very awkward spot, so it's not that easy to pick them up. But yeah. And you're not gonna buy them back, right?
No. They just train so slow and they're so expensive as well.
Yeah. And you can't make bills meanwhile, can you?
No, you can't.
Yeah, so it's just pretty bad. But yeah. Second TC going up, India grabbing some map control. Apparently content to play it slowly. And
Cossacks are being added. Vet Cossacks, for that note.
yeah, not too
It's
many
a
Cossacks for now, only 9, but they are vets, so he might just ship 6 next if he has this in deck. He doesn't, okay, so never mind.
Combat. Okay, cool.
Straight combat instead of Boyars though, because Boyars affects Cossacks, and I feel like it's just better.
Oh, Green Jackets, that's such a weird card. That's the wrong card, isn't it?
What? This affects Gorkas only against Musketeers. Maybe he expects Sam to keep making masks, but that would be a huge mistake from Sam, because Kabachers are just so superior in this situation, especially when you get to ship Cav Combat. Like, Russian masks have no upgrades, while Cav Combat affects Kabachers. And,
well, even so, it's just like, even versus masks and Strelets, the British East India Company card is just way better overall anyway.
Oh, you mean compared to that one? Yeah, I didn't even compare it to anything. I was just thinking, yeah, this is totally useless, right? I mean, it gives some free Gorkas when you tech something in the consulate, which basically happens once every 5 minutes, or more. So it's kind of useless. And yeah, it's just a bad card. But regardless of that card, this is quite a scary Indian army, really. His units are strong. He's got 3 Mahouts to tank, and if there's not more Cossacks than that, it's gonna be tough for Russia here. He's sending Cossacks, but they're just gonna get sniped so fast by the Zemburaks. Mahouts tanking everything.
Reinforcements, actually. If Sam can focus these Mahouts, and then there's so many Strelets in queue, actually. So Sam might be okay here.
I don't know. I don't see the mass of Gorkas really melting here. Although if he goes on top with his upgraded Strelets, he might do okay. Yeah, that's true. Has to be careful to keep some anti-cav alive though, just in case there's some more Mahouts coming in. But yeah.
Umis could be quite scary here actually. And Dictator nicely pulling back the Mansabda back. But is he going to survive?
Oh, 3 HP.
Just about 3 HP.
Well played by boss players, like Samwise trying to snipe it and Dictator just saving it and then having it in defense mode. Although going a little bit too much forward might get focused down. 6 upgrades is just so bad. Jesus. He could just send them to raid, but yeah, I guess he kind of needs units.
But 3 Mahouts are coming and they're just going to clean up the rest of the units, surely.
Yeah, I think this is probably going to be the game-winning Mahouts here. We'll have to see. Maybe Sam can somehow go through the blockhouses, and to be honest, I don't think the Mahout can even go through, I mean, between the 2 blockhouses because they're so big.
Yeah.
And
this is so close, this fight, actually.
Yeah, this is actually really close. Menzapta's still goddamn alive. 3 HP on that dude. Jesus. And
in the front as well. More Strelets and blockhouses shooting.
He really needs to go through the 2 blockhouses now, and he's gonna do it now.
Yeah,
and
he's doing it now. This is gonna be fine, but like Yurumis are gonna be on the way soon.
Yeah, Yurumis not too scary, I guess, against Strelets. I mean, they do good, but Strelets still trade okay, I guess. But yeah, the problem is that there's one whole Mahout alive, and it's just not dying.
And the elephants are gonna come back up as well. The explorers.
Yeah, and they actually do some damage and stomp, and Jesus, this
looks GG for Sam.
Yeah,
I think
it's over. Like the score gap as well.
It's even got like so much eco behind this as well,
and so much map control. Yeah, like these fields are even probably in line of sight of the third town center and will get killed eventually. 11 must because it's pretty much all he has. I wonder if 13 threats would not be, or 5 Cossacks would not. No, he can't 5 Cossacks, but 13 threats would probably be better because they have street at combat, and that's just what you want at this point. But either way, it's not enough. So
it is quite hard to kill Russia, but here comes the Euromies and
yeah. You need a big mass of units to kill the Euromies. Either a big mass of infantry to hit and run, or some cav to block, but he doesn't have enough. So yeah, GG. Good game. 3-2 to Samwise12. Just bringing one single point to the CMC. Oh well.
It's just so BM, man.
Well,
is that
sorry,
is
what?
that 3-1 or 4-1? Sorry.
3-2 now.
Oh, sorry, 3-2, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Samwise probably typed GG, but there's a bug when you type GG just before resigning, then he's out and you can't see what he types, so you don't see the GG. But I'm pretty sure he did say GG. Well, anyway, it doesn't really matter. I'm just looking at the graphs quickly, and yeah.
This is just what happens. This is what happens if India's just like untouched in their build.
Right. And it still shows that even though there is potential for Russia to age up, it's still not like it's free. Even like if you didn't really do damage early on, India still gets enough stuff. I think this is just a correct build order from, like, this was a perfect build order from Dictator, I think. Doesn't matter if Russia is gonna edge or if he's gonna push again or just contain. I think you just get enough stuff with the Forcer Wars and the Gardeners to punish Russia once India is untouched. And yeah, I'm just amazed at the graph because the first fight, I mean the rush from Russia, you see no unit died from India.
Killed one bill and then lost his entire army. So I just don't think that was worth it.
Yeah, and he killed literally no unit. It's impressive. Or maybe one we can't see on the graph, but you know. And then in H3 he just cleaned up pretty convincingly, then was able to follow up, and then yeah, it just won eventually. And
hang on, apparently the stream is dead. Black screen.
Wait, what? I dropped a lot of frames for a while, apparently for some weird reason. But now my bitrate is fine and I'm not dropping any frames, so it should be back. I hope it was not right during the last fight. That would be just sad.
It may have been throughout like a lot of that last game.
Damn it. Well, sorry guys, I can't do anything about this. Looks like my net just went down for a while. Happens sometimes, but now it's back to normal. So well, anyway, I'm gonna stop streaming, so it doesn't really matter. I hope you guys could see still the last game fine. Either way, yeah, I'm done looking at the graphs. There's not much else to say about this game. It was a good game though. So next you will have Comet-K casting along with I don't know, someone probably, and it will be Optimus Prime against Jerry Muno next. So you guys stay tuned. I will go off.
I thought it was Casted versus
I'm bad. Yes, it is Gib against Casted next, of course. All right, so yeah, same teams. This time Gib instead of Dictator and Casted instead of Samwise. And you guys stay tuned. Haza and me will go off. Thanks for co-casting, Haza.
No problem. Pleasure to be here, sir.
And yeah, we'll leave the next casters to step in. See you guys. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys. Bye.